Before the rise of our modern world, before technology lit the darkness, humanity walked through shadows guided only by fear, faith, and the unknown. Hidden in that ancient twilight are rituals so shocking, so unbelievable that they sound like legends. Yet they were real. Today, we step into that forgotten world. But be warned. Once you hear these stories, you may never see history the same way again. Our first tale takes us to ancient Carthage, a wealthy city glittering on the edge of the Mediterranean Sea. On the surface, it was a paradise, grand markets, sea winds, and towering temples. But as night fell, a darker truth stirred beneath the city's calm. In desperate times of drought or war, parents carried their children to the colossal bronze statue of Baal Hammon. Drums pounded like a racing heartbeat, drowning out cries as priests performed the unthinkable. Some say the statue's outstretched metal hands grew red-hot from the fire beneath, and what followed was an offering meant to save the entire nation. Scholars still debate it, but the legend alone is enough to freeze the blood. Carthage believed the gods demanded everything, even their future. From fire and shadow, we ascend into the silent heights of the Himalayas, where wind howls like a grieving spirit. Here, Tibetan monks practice the haunting ritual of sky burial. Imagine a lonely mountaintop at dawn, the sky painted gold as robed monks carry the body of a loved one to its final place. No graves, no tombs, no flames. Instead, the body is offered to the vultures that circle above, wings beating like ancient drums of fate. To outsiders, it may seem shocking. But to the Tibetan people, it is an act of ultimate compassion, feeding nature one last time and freeing the soul from its earthly shell. Our journey turns south, plunging into the dense, steaming jungles of Mesoamerica where the Maya ruled with brilliance and blood. At the heart of their power lay a ritual few dared to question: royal bloodletting. Picture a moonlit temple platform. A king or queen standing tall as attendants present sharpened stingray spines. With unwavering calm, the ruler pierces their own skin, tongue, ears, even more delicate places, and lets sacred blood drip onto woven bark paper. When burned, the smoke curls upward like a ghostly serpent, believed to summon gods and ancestors into the living world. This wasn't pain for pain's sake, it was cosmic duty. The Maya believed the universe drank royal blood to survive. Finally, we enter the unforgiving world of the Scythians, nomadic warriors feared by empires. Their ritual, brutal. After battle, the Scythian warrior did more than collect trophies. He took the scalp of his defeated foe, sometimes even drinking the blood of the first enemy he killed. To them, this wasn't savagery. It was honor, power, and proof that a warrior had stared death in the eyes and laughed. 4 rituals. 4 windows into the human soul. Its fear, its courage, its devotion. These ancient practices shock us, fascinate us, and remind us that our ancestors lived in a world where survival was uncertain and the gods felt very close. Even today, their whispers have not fully faded. Ancient rituals weren't just actions. They were windows into the human mind under pressure. They reveal how our ancestors coped with chaos, fear, and the unknown. We're not just looking at what they did, but exploring the intense psychological states that drove them. In Carthage, the sacrifice of a child was the ultimate act of psychological surrender. Imagine the crushing weight on a parent's soul, forced to believe that the only way to save everyone was to give up their most precious love. This wasn't just a ritual, it was a society convincing itself that unbearable grief was the price of survival. The Tibetan sky burial is a radical acceptance of mortality. By offering a body to nature, the community confronts the physical end of life head-on. For the grieving, this act transforms loss into a final, selfless gift. It's a psychological tool for letting go, dissolving the fear of death into the cycle of life itself. Mayan royal bloodletting was a fascinating psychological bridge. The ruler inflicted pain not as punishment, but to enter a trance-like state, blurring the line between the physical and divine worlds. For the ruler, it was a confirmation of their sacred duty. For the people, it was proof their leader could literally bleed for their prosperity. It bound the entire kingdom in a shared, painful faith. For the Scythian warrior, taking a scalp was an act of psychological domination. It wasn't just a trophy. It was absorbing the enemy's life force, erasing their identity while solidifying one's own as a survivor. In a brutal world, this ritual was a way to process the trauma of battle and project an aura of invincible power. These rituals show us that behind the most shocking acts of history lies a desperate search for meaning and control. They were humanity's earliest attempts to manage existential terror, binding communities together through shared belief and profound psychological experiences. How did ancient cultures use ritual to master the mind? By comparing them, we uncover the universal patterns of human psychology. Let's look at two extremes: fear and control. In Carthage, the ritual was an act of ultimate surrender, driven by fear of the gods. The Mayan bloodletting ritual represents a psychology of active maintenance. The ruler doesn't surrender to the cosmos. They feed it, taking on immense pain to uphold their duty and keep the universe in balance. One is about becoming one with the world. The other is about holding the world together. Appeasement versus domination. Acceptance versus duty. While the methods were worlds apart, the goal was the same: to create certainty in an uncertain world. Each ritual was a powerful psychological tool, shaping the very soul of a civilization. Rituals were not just symbolic. They produced tangible outcomes that reinforced the belief system. In Carthage, the horrific outcome for the parents was the desired outcome for the state. By sacrificing their child, they were seen as having bought the community's survival. The city's perceived return to normalcy came at the cost of an individual's soul, creating a powerful, trauma-bonded society. For the Scythian warrior, the outcome was direct and personal: status. Each scalp was a step up the social ladder, a visible mark of his prowess. This brutal calculus created a society geared for constant warfare, where honor was measured in the lives you took. The outcome of the Tibetan sky burial is purely psychological and spiritual. There is no political gain, only emotional release. The family experiences a profound sense of closure, believing they have granted their loved one a final, compassionate act of release. It reinforces a culture that embraces impermanence. In the Mayan world, the outcome was political stability. By enduring immense pain, the ruler's authority was renewed. The ritual produced a visible, undeniable sign of their divine mandate, unifying the kingdom and securing their power. For the people, the outcome was a feeling of cosmic safety, social stability, spiritual peace, personal honor, communal survival. These outcomes are the reason these rituals existed. They weren't just traditions. They were the engines that powered ancient civilizations.